By the time the World Economic Forum had elevated itself from a mere gathering of wealthy industrialists behind closed doors to a self-appointed oracle of global destiny, it had already begun to stink a vile stench of evil. Klaus Schwab, its founder and perennial ringmaster, presides over this annual meeting in Davos with the gravitas of a mad dictator. The World Economic Forum, with its glossy reports and sanctimonious platitudes, has long hinted at a vision that chills the spine, a one-world government, a phrase that creates images of Orwellian ministries, where the individual is but a cog in a machine too vast to comprehend. Talking about the plans of these megalomaniacs is not a conspiracy theory, because they have laid bare their plans in their own words, disguised as progress, but reeking of dominion and a desire for world domination. Schwab and his cohorts have stated the desire for a global institutional framework that would transcend national sovereignty, a system where global governance would replace the freedom of independent states. The language is coy. Phrases like multi-stakeholder cooperation and systemic redesign replace words like dictator, but the intent is clear. A unified authority unencumbered by democracy to oversee the planet's affairs. It is a vision that echoes the dystopian unity of Huxley's Brave New World, with an extra helping of corporate self-interest. Then there is the Great Reset, that post-2020 mantra, which Schwab unleashed with the zeal of a medieval crusade. He declared the COVID-19 pandemic an opportunity to rethink the global order, to build a system more resilient, equitable, and sustainable. The accompanying rhetoric, peppered across WEF publications and speeches, spoke of harnessing the Fourth Industrial Revolution to create a stakeholder economy, a nebulous concept that seems to imply a world where corporations and unelected elites control and rule everything. The implication is unmistakable. National borders must give way to a singular, streamlined one-world governance structure. To me, this sounds like a full-blown attack against sovereignty and freedom itself. Why then does the World Economic Forum want to dominate and control the entire world? The answer lies in a trinity of desires: power, profit, and arrogance. It is a club of the influential multinational CEOs, puppet heads of state, and technocrats who convene in Davos to pat each other's backs and plot the world's course. A one-world government would elevate this clique from mere advisors to outright architects, granting them the ability to shape laws, economies, and societies without the interference of national parliaments or normal people. Profit, too, looms large. The WEF's membership roster reads like a who's who of corporate titans. Companies like Nestlé, Goldman Sachs, and Microsoft, whose balance sheets thrive on global markets unfettered by local regulations. A unified government could standardize trade, eliminate tariffs, and crush pesky labor protections and workers' rights with the efficiency of a machine gun. The Great Reset's talk of stakeholder capitalism is a Trojan horse for this agenda. A world where corporations are not merely players, but co-rulers, their profits sanctified as a public good. Finally, there is the God complex, the unshakable belief that the WEF's elite know best. Schwab and his ilk present themselves as modern-day prophets, convinced that humanity is fractious, short-sighted, and prone to error, and requires a firm hand to guide it in the right direction, the direction decided by the prophets. The WEF's reports are riddled with this condescension. Humanity must be reset, redesigned, realigned, as if living, breathing human beings are defective software in need of an update. A one-world government in their eyes is the ultimate tool to enforce this benevolent despotism, a means to save us from ourselves, whether we like it or not. To oppose the WEF's vision is to reject the notion that a single, unaccountable authority is the solution. History offers grim lessons. The Roman Empire, for all its roads and aqueducts, crumbled under its own weight. The Soviet Union's centralized dream drowned in stagnation and tyranny. A one-world government, however shiny its packaging, risks the same fate, magnifying human flaws on a planetary scale. Who would check its power? Who would hear the dissenters' cry? In my opinion, the World Economic Forum is nothing more than a circus of self-congratulation, where billionaires lecture on poverty while sipping champagne and feasting on prostitutes, while the jet-setters decry carbon emissions from private planes. It is a gang wanting a new world order, a new world not built for humanity, but for billionaires. In the end, the World Economic Forum's flirtation with a one-world government is less a bold leap forward than a retreat into fantasy, a fantasy where control masquerades as cooperation and elitism masquerades as enlightenment. Schwab may see himself as a visionary, but to the skeptic, he is more akin to a Bond villain, stroking a white cat in a mountaintop lair while plotting humanity's demise. Trump saw through this villainy and rejected it. Sadly, the rest of the world's leaders are willing participants in it. Welcome to the Great Reset, and goodbye, useless eaters.